There it is. Oh, yeah, beautiful. Fully in my. All right. Meeting is now streaming. There we go. All right. Live on Facebook and on Instagram. This is GDP Live. I'm just going to share a little bit of fun music with you guys real quick while I can speak at the same time. No, I'm going to play a quick song for you guys just to so I can share some of this shit. So enjoy. I hope.
Cool. Wow. Cool.
Hi, Casey.
Fucking rethink yourself, you idiot. Cool. Wow. Fucking rethink yourself, you wow idiot. Cool. I have taken
wipe my
shits
asshole.
big enough that my hand, any amount going in the toilet, would have hit it. Cool.
That's too much poop. You should see a doctor.
Cool. Fucking rethink yourself, you idiot. Cool. No, not this show, Pat.
Ramirez here.
Cool. Fucking rethink yourself, you idiot.
He's family.
Cool. Not this show, Pat.
Ramirez here. He's family.
Fucking rethink yourself, you wow. Cool. Cool. Wow. Cool. Fucking rethink yourself. Wow. Idiot.
GDP Live. This is Pat George right here. You're right there on Instagram as well as on Facebook at the Gross Domesticated Podcast page and at Baby Mermaid Productions on Facebook. I'm Pat George. I'm your host, and I do this every Monday, every Wednesday, and every Friday. If this is the first time you're joining, please feel welcome to join in on Instagram. You are more than welcome to join in. Your audio will be featured on the video later on, and I do erase the Instagram video at the end of every show. So if you want to pound off, or if you want to join in, audio only, you can do it live every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. Or you can watch the videos afterwards on Facebook or on YouTube at the Baby Mermaid Productions YouTube page. So check those out. I also stream live every Sunday with a buddy of mine named Andy Malafarina. And he posts the videos of it's us just talking about music. That's a show called What About with Andy and Pat. We talk about a lot of I mean, to be completely honest, like 2005, like early 2000s screamo, metal, punk, kind of a mixture of that. So honestly, it's there's an audience for sure, but it's also like the bands are really cool, and we really do, obviously we veer a ton too. So so hold on, I'm going to read some comments. Casey's in the chat. Hey Casey, how's it going? Here for it. Hell yeah. She said that song was tight. Hell yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's the old Baby Mermaid Productions original. That's actually from the Buddha Boys days, from a podcast of yore, when I would talk a lot of comedy and philosophy with a good friend of mine, Chris William, who I will be on a show with. Speaking of plugs, thanks, Casey. Look at that. Casey brought up the song in which I played earlier, which was I have dubbed "Cool Farter," and that's a song. You just sent me right into a show that I'm going to be doing this weekend with Chris William. I believe Manny's on that show. I mean, I got a pretty packed weekend. May 7th, I will be in, I think it's Northumberland. Is that a Friday? No, that's the 22nd. I should add this ready. I apologize. Yeah, it's Northumberland at the Front Street Station. Manny Santiago, Zach Hammond, and Chris William, the previously mentioned Buddha Boy. Chris William and I, all of us will be at the Front Street Station. It is an adults only show. That's a really weird way to put it, but I'm assuming it's 18 and up, or no, sorry, 21 and up. So I guess 21-year-olds are considered adults by Dick Knupp, who is the person who is putting on the show. Wonderful man, I think. He's all right. And Friday, May 7th at 8 p.m. Tickets are $10. Again, adults only. So check that out as well. As May 8th, I will be doing some time at a show at the J&P Winery. The headliner of that show is going to be Alan Massenberg. Jim Bryan's going to be there. Cody Wright. It looks like James Camacho. I don't know who else actually. I think Karen said she's doing that show. So you guys can just come hang out with me, and we can watch all these wonderful comics do comedy as well as my. I don't know exactly how much time I'm doing, but I am doing some time. Gary Limoges is the host of that one, and he was kind enough to ask me to come do some time. So come see me and Manny on Friday. We'll be doing comedy there, and then come see ooh, excuse me, come see myself and then all those other wonderful comics on May 8th at J&P Winery. That's going to be fun. I'm going to get my wine on. I'm going to get some wine in my gullet. Speaking of Gary Limoges, I don't know why I said it like that. Gary Limoges. I saw him this weekend. Dom and I were lucky enough. We went out to the Late Show with the very last opportunity to see a wonderful young man, Shane Gillis. You ever heard of him? No, Manny and Mike got to hang out with him like the first night of shows and stuff like that. Um, and they were, what's that noise? Hold on, I gotta put my phone down here. Sorry, guys. No, but there was they got to hang out with them and have a good time. And Dom and I went were kind of were it was nice to see all of them really. Brian Six was there, Matt McCusker, Brian Fennell. I told Brian how nice it was to see him, and I said, you know what, I'm genuinely happy to see you. I was really happy. And he's like I didn't really feel the same. And I was like, you know what, I appreciate the honesty. But wonderful guys, uh hilarious show. Like Manny was talking about it. So if you get a chance to see obviously any of those young men, please. But as I was at the show, Gary Limoges walked in, and I was like, "Oh, Gary's here!" And I fucking was like, "Holy shit! Look at that! What are the odds?" Not only that, but also the other person that I saw at the show was a person that I had met earlier that competed in the King of the White Belts tournament. That was a that was a lot of fun. I train, obviously. I know I've talked about it on the show, but I train jujitsu at Harrisburg Jiu Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and Judo is the name of it, in Lemoyne, uh, Pennsylvania, and it's a lot of fun to do. I'm not here just to advocate for jujitsu. That's not what I was planning on doing. Hold on, I keep hearing a noise. I want to make sure I'm taking care of that. All right, I think I did that. Maybe. All right. Sorry. I was hearing some kind of fucking feedback or some shit. But no, I train at Harrisburg Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and Judo, and one of the owners, David Brogan, reached out to me and said, "Hey, we heard that we were wondering if you'd like to we want to stream the tournament. They started a thing. I think it was something to coming out of the pandemic and starting to train regularly. More and more people were coming back and trying to have a fun little in-house kind of tournament thing where all of the white belts, all of the people that kind of started out earlier, um, or a little bit newer to it, would all were able to compete in a in a tournament in all of the schools. So Harrisburg Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is just one of the schools owned by, like, there's a couple different ones. What's up? Hey Charles. Hey Cupcake. Good to see you, buddy. I and I so they own another school in York. It's just York Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and Judo. I can't. The more I have to say it's so hard. And then there's another one that is more formally named after there. There's like one formally named after one of the original owner, the OG of 3G Jiu Jitsu, of Rosendo Diaz. So there's Rosendo School, there's Schuylkill School, there's York, there was E Town. What else? I can't remember all of them. I don't have my sheet in front of me. I had the little commentating sheet and everything because I was originally just kind of slated to come in and stream the competition, and also set up the audio for the commentary. Basically, produce the show, produce a jujitsu tournament, and with commentary. So I that's originally what the plan was. But then when I got there, one of the owners was like, he's like, "Oh yeah, would you like to?" David, who originally asked me, was like, "Oh yeah, so would you be up for being on the whole time on commentary to help just fill to fill dead air?" And I was like, yeah. It was kind of it ended up being a pretty interesting. It ended up being pretty interesting because it was like being not only being on the spot. I also ended up, I don't know how this happened, and it's one of my worst fears. It's a weird worst fear to have, but I'm very conscious of of smelling bad. I don't ever, growing up as a fat kid, and then a fat man into a fat man. uh, uh One of the things I'm really worried about is just like the stigma of like looking at a fat guy and them stinking, like just being a big fat smelly stinky guy. That's something that I always kind of wanted to avoid. So when I whenever so I it's something again, maybe much like the t-shirt uh stigmas that I've given myself of like dressing a certain way, or making sure I don't wear the same thing, but that had to do with the smell. Especially in middle school and stuff like that, when you really start growing into your smells, you really start settling into what your bad smells are going to be. So, hey John, how's it going? So so one of my biggest things is like being a fat guy, and like growing up that way, like always wanting to not give them that too. Like, you're already fat, you don't want to be fat and smelly, you don't want to be that's just another level of like uh I don't know, humiliation that you just don't need. So I feel like I was always really conscious of that. So, and still even to this day. But like today, like I've been doing pretty good. I've been trying to find, not to I it goes with the headband and the rest of everything and everybody else. Like I wanted to start finding all natural deodorants. So I'm trying to find an all natural deodorant, but I started my quest not only in a pandemic, but also in a pandemic when it was still cold out, and we really aren't getting a good stink up. You know what I mean? So so I end up getting this a spray on kind that I usually use. It's fine, but it's the 5 years old. What? It's the 5 years old. Oh, okay, good. So there's a there's a there's like a art. It's like art of shaving or something. A free plug. It's a great thing. Problem with all natural deodorant is they don't prevent sweating, in my experience. Yeah, that's something that I definitely realized with this stuff, because I was using the spray on kind, and and I would do. Oh, okay, it's that. I gotcha. Oh, it's Caleb. I gotcha. Hey, Caleb, what's going on, buddy? Sorry, I thought you were talking about me. But no, there's the thing with it was I was using the spray stuff, and I go, all right, that's fine. And then even worst case scenario, if I'm out there, during the jujitsu tournament, I'm just doing sights and sounds. You know what I mean? The original plan was me to be kind of off over here, away from people, just running the board and just trying to, switching cameras or doing whatever I need to do. But it's not a lot of anything else. There's not a lot of other stinky man work, right? But I get there and I'm sitting there, and usually at a jujitsu gym, it's pretty cool, because some people's idea of hygiene is different, and it's not always a choice, I don't think. But there's a problem with hygiene, and people smelling a little stinky. They smell bad. So I'm sitting in the gym, setting up the table, and and I'm like, man, somebody fucking stinks. Somebody's coming here, and that's like I'm thinking, is that a tactic? Am I going to talk about this on the commentary? Because now I've been asked, oh, you're going to have to sit at the table and all of the gym owners and some of the other instructors are going to come over and alternate and talk during the match about about uh like but they were supposed to be, so I didn't, again, I no defined roles, no anything else, but it was basically your I was going to be when I described it to Dominique, when I was like, oh shit, they asked me to do a commentary, she's like, awesome, just channel your inner Matt Sarah. And I'm like, oh, that's perfect, that's exactly what I should do. Just yell. Either yell or just talk about pretty much anything else but mixed martial arts or jujitsu in general. But I guess just be myself is essentially what she meant, and that, I get that, because it was a little, it felt a little stilted at first, but I was so self conscious about the fact that I kept having to like move the mic over to like try to get the sound of like the guy that's making the announcements for the matches. There was a every time like I did that, I'm like trying to do it with my arm because I'm sitting there at the table, like getting my notes together and getting the shit together, and I'm just like, man, something stinks, and I go like this, and I go, God damn it, the smell check, and then trying. I'm somebody that it's usually not me, right? It's usually when I smell that, I'm like, it's not me, but I'm so like, so I'm very bolden with my check. I don't sneak the check. I don't like go like, let me just do one of these because I'm not. I was. It's not. It's like the reality that it would have been me, especially because I doused myself in fucking spray deodorant right as I left the house. So so I'm sitting there, and also now I'm nervous, so I'm sweating more. And the room's filling up. There's more competitors coming. It's getting close to showtime, and I was thinking like, holy shit, like, and I so much so. This is how fucking uh this is how transparent and vulnerable I am in most fucking moments now. I straight up like it was I was sitting with the one of the owners, David Brogan, and he's like, I'll start it out with you, and then I'll send over a Resendio over, and then blah blah blah, and then we'll just alternate, and that. And I was like, okay, fine. And I was like, man, I was not planning for this. I said, I don't know what happened. I doused myself with deodorant before I left, and I stink. And he's like, I don't smell anything. And I was like, okay, so at least they're gonna be nice. They're not gonna come over and go like, what the fuck stinks over here? Oh, it's the commentary. That's what. But I got a ton of fucking great feedback. I really enjoyed in general, I enjoyed myself. Like I enjoyed the competition too. Like everybody that competed was there. So the one of the competitors was at the show. And it was so cool because I was sitting there after the show as everybody's walking out, like, and he walked past me, and I was like, holy shit. And I was like, holy, hey, congratulations, because he did not, I don't believe he came, he was basically second in his bracket, and it was like a round robin. I thought at the end of this tournament I would understand what a round robin is or how it works even a little bit, but not even a little bit. I don't think I know. I think how I finally heard it explained after the tournament was it's supposed to be that everybody plays another, like everybody like goes against everybody in that bracket. So like, and then how this one was set up, it's King of the White Belt. It was the first time ever. Basically, how they did it was they got the group of white belts. They broke them up into 3 different weight classes, um, and they put a lot of thought into it. It was a lot of fun. Like it, as far as earning your blue belt and everything like that. I think there's some consensus of how important it is to put in time and have the stripes and do all the thing. But then sometimes it's also fun to, if you beat, if you get the most points out of everybody, all of your peers that also have competed in this competition, you know, why not? At least here, you're basically you're the king of the white. It's fucking so much fun. It's just a lot of fun. It adds a lot of that you get a trophy. They got a little crown, and you get a blue belt. So like that's pretty cool. I and to be so basically, yeah, they broke it up into three brackets. Sorry, I was started explaining that. And then each person would go against everybody in that bracket. At the end of it, whoever had the most points won the blue. There's no second place in that. You know, your first, your last, baby. But the everybody really, really fucking like when I know I talked about it on the show about like how important it was like to have the blue belt or whatever, the recognition, the kind of thing of like it's not necessarily just having the belt. It's more about having like the recognition for your hard work. So and when you're a white belt, there's a weird thing because you feel like you don't know. You feel like people kind of minimize white belts. Like they kind of like poo poo. Oh, you're just fucking, and it's weird. I don't understand that with it, and it's not everybody, but it is kind of like it's a meme. It's a meme about like spazzy white belts, and it's a thing. It's a there's, but it's cool to say like okay, well at least out of all of the white belts, because each gym to get their competitors would had their own like in-house thing of like, okay, so the best people from this gym and the best people from this gym and the best people from this gym, each one of them represented it. So it was like perfect. um I think that's cool. And then also all of those gym owner or gym instructors or professors and stuff like that would come up and do commentary. Ian's here. Hey, what's going on, Ian? Ian Strong from Strong Words at Ian Strong. There's a like it's a level of like there's like a level of respect to each thing like that. They're like they know they're the people that made up the rules at the gym of like you gotta have this many classes, we have to kind of assess your abilities to say like okay, well you're fit to be a blue belt now, or you're fit to whatever, because you represent the gym. When you go out, you say, I came from this gym and they gave me my blue belt, and then they roll with you and they're like, what the fuck, even though there's a matter of subjectivity. Ooh, look at that word, huh? Check that out. Also, I think I'm gonna focus this a little. That might help a bit. No, did that help there? I don't know if that's better. I had to move all of my equipment. I had to so everything's like the OCD in me. I'm like listening for like, is that different? Is something different? Does it look different? Is something I want to make sure consistency is weird. I don't mind it being loosey goosey, but I like a little consistency. That's why the King of the White Belts tournament was so much fun to be a part of, because it was it was just like, yeah, there's pomp and circumstances, whatever, but also you got a cool trophy for the gym to say, and then they get their name etched in it and all that stuff. It's like a Stanley Cup style with like the guy Dave got like plates for all sides of the trophy. So they're gonna like we're keeping track over the years like who had the best white belts from which gym. It's like an in-house, like that's the fun part of it, like that I really did enjoy. And when they asked me to do the commentary for it, I had no idea what to expect, but I ended up having a lot of fun. It reminded me actually of I don't know if I told this story on the podcast or not, but Lemaire Lee, friend of the show, Lemaire Lee, um, current FCA pre-pro PWI champion, still and reigning champion, per last week's shows. And again, you should check those out. I had all guests last week, all guest co-hosts all last week. That was a ton of fun. But Lemaire and Manny went at it, and he's still the champ. So Lemaire and I remember. So I was doing host stuff. Did you Rogan out on commentary? That was my thing. Was I felt like I was just one more step closer to like full Rogan, like my full Rogan evolution. I don't know what kind of I'm because I definitely I'm not the guns and weapons guy. I am martial arts for sure, but I'm not necessarily the guns and weapons guy, or hunting, or like I'll eat elk meat. I'm down for if you hunt, I'll gather. You know what I mean? I have no problem with that. I'm a Lady Rogan. That's what I am. I aspire to be Lady Rogan because women, I don't know if you guys know this, 2021 are very powerful right now. But if you make me a Lady Rogan, if you make me your Lady Rogan, you know what I mean? I'll cry with you. I'm learning how to do that now. I'm learning how to cry, to feel other feelings besides just anger. Uh, I'm learning about my smells and how to smell better naturally. I started taking collagen, so you know that shit's tight. I did start taking collagen. I don't know exactly if it's benefiting me yet or not. I think it's supposed to help my tendons, my hair, I think my skin. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah. Sorry. King of the White Belts. What was I saying? No, I was trying to be more again, me, like just to be, yeah, I'm be myself and to understand like, okay, so when you're listening or when you're watching competitions, and that's, I will say that like this at times, for it to be all white belts competing against each other, like it doesn't matter, man. Sometimes like you're just really, there's like really good fucking white belts, or there's people that are like just want it so much fucking more than other people, and you end up getting like, there was some pretty good fucking matches. There's really good matches. It's all available on the Harrisburg Jiu Jitsu and Judo Facebook page. It's free. Like you can just go there and watch it, and it's me and other people on commentary. It's a little bit over 2 hours, I think, and it's like there are really excellent matches. I'm not exaggerating. There was a couple times where like I tried not to act too surprised because like lest we not forget, I was but a white belt just month ago, probably month like 2 months ago. I don't know. It wasn't that long ago. Even though I may have felt differently for however or however whatever, it doesn't fucking matter, dude. I didn't compete against King of the White Belts. I didn't do whatever. That's that. It's this is the point now where like I was trying to be respectful, but anytime there was like a fucking like a great match, I was like, man, that was a great match. I was trying not to be like, whoa, I think like did a good job. But it was me just fucking having a great time watching grappling. Like I totally got into it after a while. Like I not only did I not I got way less nervous, but I got way more comfortable because I'm thinking about what do you hear when you watch the combat sports or grappling competitions or anything like that. You know, somebody may, if you have something interesting to say, bring it up. You know what I mean? Like if it's a memory that you thought, like I remember so I said, do you think it would be what I ended up saying, I can't remember what it was, but they were saying about how they haven't been able to do a lot of promotion ceremonies during the pandemic, and it's kind of sucked because like even though we've been able to like they opened it back up a little bit, you know, so they could train for a while, and then they had to close it back down again, and then it's restricted again. Now they're back open again. They wanted to do something to kind of commemorate that. At the same time, they wanted to have it have kind of like promotions for like let's just kind of see where everybody's at now, I guess, you know, or just something fun to have between the gyms. And uh and they and I said, oh yeah, I you know, I almost missed, I almost missed a memorial ceremony because my promotion ceremony, my like the most recent promotion ceremony, I was like, man, should I, because it's been a really long time. Sketch idea: Zoom call, adult karate belt ceremony. Yeah, that would be fucking cool. Well, I think they did a parking lot one. Not like no joke. I think they did one or two promotions in the parking lot during the, like somebody that was like moving away, and they're like, well, you like if we had this ceremony, I think their ceremony was in March, so that's what it was. I'm not drunk. Fuck you, Caleb. But there's a there was a weird like they wanted to have some kind of ceremony, a little bit of ceremony to it. So they had yeah. So they when they asked me to do the commentary, I was like, uh I didn't know. I know that I'm but a white belt. I'm a bluish tint on my white belt because like I'm not sitting here going like, oh, perfect case of katana, or he's got a triangle. Like I know how to do it. I don't know how to call it. I don't know all the terms. I don't know what the fuck it is. So I don't know. It's more of like an instinct to be. I want to be respectful. So I always did that. Like this reminded me. It was so funny. It reminded me of like early on in like the stand up. I was just talking about this with I think Manny and Mike about saying like the early on just being like so concerned about like can I curse? Am I allowed to curse? And I don't even fucking ask anymore. Like it doesn't matter if there's any restrictions or anything. I may ask if it's a paid show. I may go, hey, is it okay if I curse or something like that? But I'll finish the Lemaire story in a second because it ties into this. But now, so now this is it, I'm so new to this, to because it was going to be live streaming from their Facebook page. I'm representing the gym. I'm speaking on behalf of the gym the entire fucking time. So if I'm like, is there any kind of language restrictions and I started asking that. I was like, man, holy shit. It's been a long fucking time since I've asked, can I curse? Am I allowed to curse? I didn't even ask it on again, shout out to Strong Words with Ian Strong. I see he's got an episode going out coming out next weekend or next weekend next week that he's made a video commercial for. You can check it out on his social medias. It is he's his special guest next week. The one, the only, I believe, Diamond Dallas Page. And it's uncensored. Hmm, that's awesome. Because Pat's episode was censored as fuck. Pat's episode, he couldn't say anything. He censored out the rape joke that I quoted. I quoted a rape joke. Okay. I didn't, it's not mine. And you laughed at it. But uh DDP's episode, I guess, is uncensored. Didn't want to censor Mr. Diamond Dallas Page, but mine was. So check out Strong Words with Ian Strong next week with very special guest, Uncut and Raw. That's right. Speaking of cuts, huh? This one. Which one is his? He explained it last time. I can't remember. But yeah, Diamond Dallas Page. But it's been a long time since I've asked if I can curse on a thing. So so when I did that, I remember, but that brings me back to my Lemaire story. I was hosting at the Comedy Zone on a regular basis at the time. It was a couple years ago, and they reached out. I think it was around Christmas time. It was they reached out. I think it was Keith Paradise, the guy who was hosting or booking the host. He's the guy who booked the host at the time. And he said he reached out to me and asked if I wanted. There was a corporate thing where they want you to go. An office hired you to be a host of a game show, and you have to basically play games with the people in this office party for their holiday party. Uh, and they explained a little bit more from it. It was some company called I can't remember, but it was some improv company that they were like I guess they booked hosts or comics through the Comedy Zone for their thing if they didn't have anybody. So and then they gave me the outlines of like what I was supposed to do and some game suggestions. So I picked from a list of games, and I asked a good friend Lemaire Lee at the time I said I'll split the money with you. And would you help me with this because I had to fill again. I think it was 2 hours. Either it was an hour or 2 hours. I honestly can't remember, but at the time it was more than 3 or 4 times what I could ever imagine filling that time. Like that, I could not imagine doing that much time, which is pretty astonishing that I do 2 hours every other day now, even if it's nonsense. I don't care. I feel confident with my nonsense. I have confident nonsense. Also, Lady Rogan is, I think, going to be a great Photoshop. I should do that. Lady Rogan. That's going to be the Photoshop. That'll be a fun one for later on. But there's a. Yeah, I just wanted to write that down before I forget. There we go. Um, so I had to do. I did a show with Lemaire. Basically, we did some of the games we played were like they have a list of games. We're trying to set it up and have make it competitive, and it's essentially crowd work at an office party. You can't be too, you can't be raunchy or anything like that, but also it's just playing like like literally I did one that was paper balls and trash cans, like it picked office games like that. uh Another one was putting a Oreo cookie on their forehead and they had to get it into their mouth, their own mouth, without using their hands. Stuff like that, weird things. So like you're kind of laughing at your coworker, you're having a good time. It was a lot of fun actually, and Lemaire and I fucking killed it. They actually, so the company that booked me, and then I booked Lemaire, never contacted me again. But the ladies at the end of it, that were like the I think the manager of the group or whatever, the person that actually booked the thing, she was like, she gave us fucking tips. Like there was like I think each one of us got like $100 or something extra, or like $50 or something. And it was around Christmas time, so I think they were just happy that they didn't have to talk to each other really, and they didn't have to talk about work. That was probably what they were avoiding. But for me and Lemaire, I don't know about how nervous Lemaire was. He probably wasn't at all, but I was the one that accepted the job, and I was like, I hope I fucking do a good job. Also, I hope I don't like accidentally say pussy or something. I was so conscious of that. So when I asked Dave Brogan, can I curse on this? He's like, yeah, I don't care. Go do whatever. But I still was in that mindset. Also, there was kids in the room and shit like that. So if you want to check out the tournament, it's on the Harrisburg Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and Judo Facebook page. You can join that for free. And I would consider, I if you are somebody who is interested in training, I would highly suggest that gym, because like it's fun like that. They are traditional. They have, if you take a judo class, you'll learn there is. I also learned during my commentary when I was talking to Dave Brogan that in certain judo classes, he ends them by saying, or he used to, by quizzing all the students, and at random, he would ask a certain position or move or something like that, and the correct pronunciation in Japanese. And if you got it wrong, uh, just hook up, just look up Harrisburg BJ's. No. Harrisburg Brazil BJJ. John, it's BJJ. You got it wrong, and it's and John Montag's pounding off in the chat. But I think that might be autocorrect, and that's a weird autocorrect because maybe it goes wholesale. I thought you were a Costco guy, not BJ's. Um, but yeah, you can go there to Harrisburg BJJ and judo. uh, and check it out there. But he does, if you got the answer wrong, if you pronounced one of the positions incorrectly, they would, he makes you do, you have to do 10 push, or everybody has to do 10 push ups. Sorry, that's what it was. So one person gets a question wrong, everybody has to do 10 push ups. And I was like, damn, that's fucking rough as hell. Until he told me he also does the push ups. I was like, oh, okay, damn. But it doesn't make it any easier. It just makes it a little bit more acceptable, saying like, all right, well, at least the teacher has to do the push-ups too. So everybody just, so he said he wants to either have the most educated students or the strongest students. I like that. Yeah, I pluralized the J's. Yeah, see, that's what it was. Yeah. You don't want BJ, you want AJs, you know what I'm saying? You don't want no BJ. I want an AJ. What's an AJ? Ass job? That's weird. I shouldn't talk about that. There's a child in the chat. Lady Lady Rogan. I just put Lady Photoshop. Lady Rogan. There we go. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I highly suggest checking it out. A lot of not all of them, but a lot of the roles are pretty competitive, and it's a cool. I don't know, man. It was fun to. I don't know. It was cool. It was cool also to be at a competition, an arts competition. Believe it or not, Merrill, uh, that I didn't have to be nervous about. I still was sweaty, and after a while, I got less nervous. It was a competition that I got less nervous at. But I had to. I even had to bring that up in the commentary of saying like there. I remember being nervous, and I also like asking. I also liked asking the black belts like if they like do you remember being scared of roll like do you remember being nervous because it has to be after a while I remember when I first got there one of the black belts was talking about like oh yeah he talking about how it was scarier a three belt or a three stripe black belt is scarier than a black or god damn it a three stripe black belt is scarier than a four stripe black belt. I can't remember exactly what the numbers was, but like there's a lot of wisdom up there. I'll get there eventually. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Uh, uh, I survived it. All the people that were in the competition survived. Either you win or you learn, and there was a lot of fun had by I think all that day. The nervous feeling is great. Is great though. If you're no longer, if you know, wait, hold on. If you're no longer feeling nervous, that means you need to level up. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I would agree with that. There's like a if you have that pit in your stomach, I kind of feel I get that feeling on the weekends now when I train when I go like to do like MMA stuff. I it's weird because like it's the same kind of hesitation sometimes that self doubt kind of like oh man should I fucking oh boy and like when you get that feeling that little pit in your stomach you're like oh shit like and then you go do it and you fuck I always have a blast doing it so like I don't know you never regret it it's where I feel like you're doing the right thing let me say okay maybe this might be wise. I don't know. I'm trying to preface this by saying I don't know exactly how this is going to come out. Let me see. Uh, if you're nervous about doing something, it depends on how you feel after. Like you know, if you feel better, I don't know. I never regret doing jujitsu. Let me just put it that way. I never regret doing MMA. No matter what, I never regret doing comedy. I never regret us like anytime. It doesn't matter how bad the sets have ever been. I've never regretted taking a show. I've I still because now I have a really really bad bar and I have a really really good bar. Hey Ron, how's it going, buddy? I've been getting out. I've been getting uh that pit. Hold on, that pit in my stomach with getting back into stand up, and I love it. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing of like the ooh, what's somebody was just saying that they were talking about like Tom Segura was talking about like there's or maybe it was Tom and Bert or I can't remember who it was I was talking about like before shows there's like uh shitters uh shitters pukers pacers or something like that. I think I'm a pisser. I do the thing where like I feel like I have to pee a bunch. I don't feel like I have to take a shit right before. I do get that little like feeling. I you know what? I also right before I go on, I start yawning in uncontrollably. Sorry, Nick. Sorry for that. I apologize, Nick. I should let Nick know that he should yawn now if he is listening to this. Yawn. Anytime my brother hears the word yawn, he yawns. So if he's listening or watching, yawn. But right before I go on stage, it's so weird like I get like if I and not that like nervous in the sense that like oh my god am I going to do this am I going to do this but like the same way that before I go to like what are you doing what are you really doing I know at the end of class but before the class that's your manic brain that's the brain that needs to be settled by whatever physical activity I'm about to do my mind can finally rest and then I can go oh yeah you went there to get exercise
to learn how to defend yourself, to learn an art form, believe it or not, Meryl, and then also to just have like just fucking have fun, hang out with your friends too. Like it is a social, there's a social aspect to it too. Say not unlike comedy, you know. I love watching the Pacers versus the shitters, favorite NBA teams. The Pacers versus the shitters. Yeah, there's Pacers, there's shitters, pissers, yawners, yawna. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's cool to get back to that stuff. Um, but I would 5 stars. Highly suggest commentating if you can. It's a cool muscle that I didn't know I had, and that I've said that same thing about doing jujitsu itself. Afterwards, you realize, oh yeah, I didn't know I had that muscle. But I also watched we watched a movie this weekend that was it was one of those movies that was like it was good. It was a good movie, but it wasn't like the concept of it was the more like even after watching it, it was a good. I haven't talked to Dom about it really yet, but there is a movie called it's on Netflix. It's called Stowaway. I don't know if anybody else has seen it in the chat, or if anybody's watched it. If you're listening to this afterwards, you can pound off your feelings about it. But it's a very interesting movie. I'm a big sci-fi guy. I like my science fiction. I also like sci faction as well, or fact, science fact as well as science fiction. Uh, anytime I want to, I'm somebody who likes Neil deGrasse Tyson's take on movies. I want to know how accurate a lot of these things were because my first impulse or my first instinct was they have like this thing that simulates gravity in the ship, so they're just fucking walking around the spaceship, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I've seen every other space movie I've seen, they're floating. Every other space movie, they're floating. And except for like Star Wars, where they're like, we have anti gravity, you know, whatever the fuck it is. Like they have a button that they can push, just like everything else. It's all lasers and fucking and bells and whistles and shit. So if you like, so I want to know how much science fact is in this movie, but I like any of the like I guess it's still science fiction because it's not a real story, but it's basically but there's no aliens and shit like that. I don't want to give the wrong impression. It's the story, it's all I'll try to give basically a trailer synopsis, but it's this worker, like a person that works on the for the same company that is shooting off the rocket, the spaceship is it ends up getting like stuck in the machinery of the ship, somehow survives like he's on the interior of the ship. I don't understand. They never really get into that. Like I wish they would have, like, even if it was like a flashback kind of thing, like I don't know, that's kind of, they do the weird exposition thing where like they're all of their conversations are one-sided. You can't ever hear like mission control. I'd like that detail of it. That wasn't necessarily in the trailer, so I guess I'm giving you a little bit more insight. um I'm not going to spoil the movie. It's called Stowaway, so I have to tell you it's a guy that ends up on the ship and, and going to Mars. It's a 2-year mission. So it's a 2-year mission to Mars. And he's just a fucking I don't know why I keep wanting to call him a dock worker. I don't know what the I guess I actually do need to look up that because I don't know the correct term, but he's somebody who is also in school to get his master's in something or other technology. Space or something technology. I watched the movie. I swear to God, I know what this movie's about. Hold on, guys. I half watch movies. Maybe that might be that. I might be the best half-assed movie critic of all time. Oh, it is a science fiction thriller. It's not real. Okay, didn't actually happen. By Joe Pena and Ryan Morrison. Directed by Pena, the film stars Anna Kendrick, Daniel Day Kim. He was awesome, by the way. Shamir Anderson, and Tony Collette, who, by the way, is Australian. Dominique goes, "Oh, I didn't know she was Australian." And I go, "I don't know who the fuck that is." It's I guess a lady from God damn it. The Conjuring? Is that what she said? Tony Collette. Hold on now. I don't want to go to the wiki. The Sixth Sense. Oh, she was in The Sixth Sense? Supporting roles. Independent Broadway. Whatever. Tony Collette. I think she was in a horror movie. Yeah. What the fuck? Filmography. Jesus Christ. Man, she's been in a lot of fucking movies. There it is. Stowaway. Is she Australian? Like, that's the point I'm trying to bring up, is the fact that she didn't know she was Australian. I didn't know who the fuck she was. And she is from Sydney, Australia. Look at that. Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. Tony Collette Galasathy. I don't know what her name is. Sorry. But Stowaway. So the guy, so he gets stuck in there. The crew, MTS, a 2-year mission to Mars, consists of Commander Maria Bennett, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Shortly after takeoff, Barnett discovers launch support engineer. Thank you, Jesus. Just looking for his goddamn title in the movie. Launch support engineer. So he somehow gets stuck in the ship in like one of the. It's so funny because she's just walking past, like she's walking down this fucking space hallway, and then she just all of a sudden just sees like blood dripping on the floor, and she's like, huh? And she like looks up. First of all, I'm thinking aliens or whatever. The dumb asshole, the rocket scientist, the literal rocket scientist, doesn't think to get out of the fucking way when the guy's falling down. Like she tries to brace his fall or whatever, and like this. Again, very important to learn about jujitsu and judo. You learn about how important your fucking limbs are to keep near your body, you stupid asshole. She could have just dove under him, I guess, or just let him fucking fall, dude. I don't know. So she fucks up her arms in that way, but he falls out of the thing, and they're like, oh, they fix it. Like he is like injured and shit. They have to like tend to him, but he's okay. I don't. He was on the inside of the ship. Didn't seem like he was secured to anything. I also don't know how all of that stuff wasn't completely demolished in there. There was one part, so that's another element of the thing. Again, that's shared in the preview, is the section that he's stuck in is life support. Boop. Now they only have enough oxygen for 3 people, but guess what? With the stowaway, that's 4. That's compelling goddamn storytelling. I you know what? I'd take it if it was on the sea as well. If it was on the high seas, I would also take that. Because there's fucking rocket scientists on the ground, all the at mission control, and also on the ship. You never hear anybody on mission control. And if you do watch a movie with subtitles, you do realize there's like Jim's muffled voice or something like that. We're like, I don't know who the fuck Jim is. I don't even know who the fuck Tony Collette is. But she's talking to them, and she's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you only got fucking this much, and they're like, there's nothing else we can do. There's no way to fix the life support. If there's gonna be anything you should have 2 of on a ship, just make the room for an extra goddamn life support system, wouldn't you? So the part that the guy was stuck in is life support. He comes out, they save his life. She hurts her arm trying to save him even more so when he falls on her ass. And then they go like, oh yeah, well, now we got the air. And then Anna Kendrick's like, we can't do this, and they're like, oh, I think we're gonna have to. So then it kind of becomes like one of those yeah, oftentimes you do see it on like a Castaway kind of thing, or like who are we gonna eat first, or whatever is gonna happen to, because then they're like, okay, so do we have to like fucking kill somebody, or or are we all going to suffocate in space? I still don't understand how they couldn't at all turn around or abort, but there is, oh man, it's a good fucking movie. I got to just say, if you like a space thriller, look at that. Perfect time. Look who just joined the chat, but wife George. I was just talking about Stowaway. Tony Collette. That's her name. She's the lady that I didn't know who she was. Uh, that narrows it down, right? But it's a cool movie that I like. I think any other movie in the past couple years, nobody really knew about until it was coming right out, except for Mulan. I think Mulan was one that like I heard about forever. Top Gun 2 is another movie that I've been hearing about for fucking ever, and they like there's some places that are just so fucking stubborn about it seems like putting out these fucking movies that I I don't get it. I don't understand why, because I've really enjoyed watching movies at home. I'll still go see movies in theaters, and I think if they even re-release some of these movies in theaters, I would still go out to theaters to see them. Like I would probably rewatch Kong vs Godzilla in a theater. You know, I already know exactly what to expect. I maybe wouldn't pay 15 or $17 a ticket or some shit. But if they were willing to be like, hey, you know what? Some of these movies are $5. The ones that are available on HBO Max or you saw on HBO Max, Mortal Kombat would be another one that I know what it is now. You motherfucker, you almost got me with that trailer, you son of a bitch. Or the first 7 minutes, loved it. I still like the movie. I'm gonna watch the other ones, but I also wish you would have like let me know that you're going to start a whole nother. I call it Star Warsing movies. I know other places have done that, but I feel like Star Wars was the first one to make an obscene amount of movies. Lord of the Rings almost did it, but Harry Potter's close too. Actually, Harry Potter's pretty close, but there's that many books. There's already a thing with like Avatar. If they really are going to make like 6 or 7 avatars, Fast and the Furious, I know everybody else is having fun with it. I don't like it. I don't think it's fun. I've had enough of it. Harry Potter, I could, obviously, hey, shout out to wife in the chat, but I could take it or leave it. It's okay. Lord of the Rings, I could just leave it. I don't really love it at all. And then most of them, I wish they would I wish they would do that more with Pacific Rim. It's another bad movie but at least it's like there's an event to it. Like if you go to a theater, like I as far as little as I like the Marvel movies, I would probably see most of them in the theater because I think it would be cool. Like any of the Avengers ones, hands down, I'll go see it in theaters because I know it's gonna be. I'm gonna get it in the 3D thing. We already have the 3D attachments for our fucking glasses because we're fucking dorks. Got them with our glasses. You can order it through. I'm not gonna say the company because you know what? I would like to get them as a sponsor because I'm happy with the product. But it's another one of those companies that you can order the frames through the fucking mail and all that shit, and you can get a little 3D. We got those in anticipation, those little 3D clip-on lenses to see every Star Wars movie in the theaters, every fucking Avengers. Well, not we didn't see that, but I would just because it's fun. You nobody realized how much time they had truly to waste. I think until the pandemic, and then the other people that were like, "Holy shit, I have so much free time," got a break. So it was a win-win. I want to go back to seeing monsters and superheroes gigantic, because then it kind of feels like a cheap ass like a event or amusement park. It's fun. It would be like this would be a fun simulated ride. Stowaway. I think at Universal Studio. I don't know what company actually. Oh, look at this! I still got it open. Let's see if there is Produced by, written by, directed by. That's the official poster. It's only 116 minutes. Wow. I'm trying to look for the. Okay, so Augustin, Jesus Christ, film production, Rise Pictures. I don't know which. You know what I mean? Like you're looking for like the Amblin Entertainment thing at the beginning, whatever the thing, the little sting at the beginning. But I don't know. Huh. But if it's not Universal, that's what I was looking for. I was hoping that it would be for it, because then this would be a fun ride, right? You wake up in space. This would just be kind of a nightmare simulator, I think, though, for most people. Because can you imagine? The guy got injured. He's unconscious when they find him. He's stuck in the fucking whatever goddamn drop ceiling of the spaceship, and then he comes out, wakes up, and looks out. He wakes up. Nobody was monitoring him. I know there's a lot of work to be done on a spaceship. I know, but nobody was keeping an eye out. Like my friends have rings. What is it? Nest. Not doorbell. God damn it. The little nanny cams. You know what I mean? You can have it on like an app where like if there's movement, there's fucking you get a little alert on your phone. I know they're not near cell sites, but there's got to be something like that on a spaceship. Of strap him to the bed. Also, I guess I don't know. They got him. He wakes up, looks out a fucking window, and oh yeah, you're spinning through space. Because also that's how they talk about the. I guess that's the thing. I would love to know if that I could Google it, but I'd much rather Neil deGrasse Tyson it. I want to throw this out to Neil deGrasse Tyson. I would love to ask him just a random question. Hey, if you fucking just spin a goddamn spaceship like this through space, does that make gravity? Because and like they're not. I don't know. It's so fucking weird. It's just really strange to me. But they're just so he's like walking like just regular like do 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 over to the stumbling. Really, he's still injured. Walks over to the window and like he just sees the Earth just spiraling. Goodbye, Earth. And they had taken off like 12 hours earlier or something. And he was like, so I'm 12 hours away from the planet Earth. Fuck. Not literally. Those were his exact words. So when I watch movies, I like to Blair Witch is another motherfucking doozy of a movie to watch in this same light. But if you watch a movie where you are able to put yourself in that scenario, and I try to do that. That's why when I'm watching the superhero movies, the only scenario I'm in that scenario is one of those screaming, terrified people that's running away because they're throwing buildings at each other. That's the part where I'm like, oh my god, and I don't like relating to that because that's not fun to me. That's just like, oh, cool. I like to see if I'm a civilian, I would be one of the idiots that gets killed because I want to stand out and watch the giants fight each other because otherwise I'm just hiding from them trying to save my life, and I have to watch the news report later on. I want to watch that shit live. I like combat sports. I would commentate for it too if they needed it. If they're kaiju battling or something like that, I'd hop on there. But you know, so so what was that? Oh yeah, so I like to put myself in the scenario. I'm somebody who goes camping all the time. I'm somebody who is like, if I was walking through the woods and I see like a weird stick thing, I'd be like, oh, what the fuck is that stick thing? I don't know if I would, but at a certain point in the Blair Witch movie, there's a point where they're like, we just want to go home. Like we just want to stop this and just leave the woods, but we can't. So there's all of it was way too relatable and way too easy to put myself in that position. Young white idiot in the woods with a camera. That's me. A lot of times that can be me. That could be very easily me camping in the woods with other white idiots filming each other looking for a witch. Yeah. I've said it a million times how I would love to sleep out in the battlefield of Gettysburg and fucking ghost hunt away. So now we know. I can't do it because Blair Witch told me this was gonna happen to you. You're gonna end up looking at a corner at the end of it. Nobody likes that. So I can't really put myself in any of those. This is one that I'm like, okay, if I went to Rocket Academy School and I was a launch support engineer, much like my friend in the movie, I can see me being the dumbass that goes like whoops and then like falls into the fucking spaceship uh shelves, and they go like, we had no idea. First of all, you had no idea that you had that extra weight. You had that no idea like there was something bouncing around in your fucking most important goddamn life support system. You idiots. You don't have air in space. But I'm not trying to get into the semantics of it. I don't know. Like that's for Neil deGrasse Tyson to do. If it's up to me, it's saying like, holy shit, I could totally see me being the dumbass that fucking fell asleep on the spaceship and it took off with me in it. And then I wake up and I go, wait a minute, what's going on? I gotta work tomorrow. Whoa. Mixing Coca-Cola Zero with black coffee is my new jam. Ugh. How are we doing this afternoon, boys? Sorry, I didn't mean to immediately shame you like that, Ron, but Coca-Cola, so Coke Zero. I don't know why you didn't just put Coke Zero. What's Coca-Cola Zero? Is that what you call it? Coca-Cola Zero? It's Coke Zero, right? Coke Zero with black coffee. You know what? I'm not going to poo-poo it. I don't know if I'm going to try that though. Cold cola with hot coffee or cold cola with like a cold brew. That might be pretty good. I could see that. Over ice? That's actually, yeah, see now? See? See, Ron? Are we working together here? Sounds really gross, but it's not bad. Coke Zero is just Coke with no sugar. Yeah. Cold in cold. Yeah, okay. Now we're talking, Ron. See? I knew that, Ron. I was thinking hot coffee, cold soda, and then like lukewarm coffee. Blech, right? Cold coffee, cold soda. Boom. Ron, you would have been in heaven this weekend. I talked about it at the very beginning of the show, but I wanted to say you missed out on a great I hung out with Shane a little bit. He was here this weekend. He did a show with Brian Six and Matt McCusker. I really hang out with Brian Six and Brian Fennell a lot. I just kind of lent Shane some podcasting stuff, but it was pretty cool. It was a show. I remember you saying how much you love Philly comics, and this would have been, let me tell you, right down your alley. You had Brian Fennell, very funny comic from Philadelphia. Brian Six, very funny comic from Philadelphia, and Matt and Shane. There you go, very funny comics from Philadelphia. Ta-da! I thought of you this weekend, buddy. I'm glad to see you here. I'm excited about a cold Coke Zero with a cold coffee. I'd love to give that a shot. No other sugar, no other cream, no other anything else. Could you imagine milk with soda? That would be so fucking gross, dude. Now if we're talking milk, I'm gonna start judging you. I heard about it. You guys killed it. Didn't he bump for like 2 hours? I think so. I got to I was all of the shows are sold out, so we were only able to go to the Saturday late show, but it was milk with soda would be nice. Okay. Ron, it's touch and go with us today, man. But I like a cold Coke Zero with a cold brew or a cold coffee. Interesting. If it was my wife, Dom, she would probably do. She likes regular Coca-Cola. She would probably do regular Coca-Cola with iced coffee. I think that would be really good. But yeah, I could see. Sorry, getting back to the stowaway. It would be me falling into the spaceship or whatever, getting injured, passing out, going into space, waking up hours later, and then being most upset that I was not able to do like my martial arts and my stupid other, like not being comfortable, like not being able to shower for that long. I think that would be the thing that like just I can't do that. It's weird. But it's a very compelling movie, very interesting movie, very cool scenario to think about putting yourself into. But kind of watch his sugar. Yeah, I got it. Hey, I got that, Ron. He's got to wash his girlish figure. He would do regular soda, but he's got to wash that figure, and I totally understand that. You know, bikini season's right around the corner. But if you guys get a chance, watch Stowaway on on I just looked at what the next thing I had to talk about. Man, man, how do I put this? Have you ever watched a video? Have you ever watched a video that upset you so much, but like, but this is me. I get what triggered is. I finally got truly what being like fully triggered was. So I'll show you here. Hold on one second. Put that there. I'm gonna put it up right behind me here. This was a video I saw on. It was originally on Reddit. Come on back here now. Get on now. Come on, bitch. There we go. Fucking desktop. So this is the video says they it was on Reddit. This is on Reddit r/idiots in cars. So already that's going to be interesting enough. But this is something in particular that I have come to I have such disdain for drivers in this area because of your lack of knowledge with this specific scenario. And guess what? Guess who you share your traits with? Your driving traits. They added a roundabout near my hometown in rural eastern Kentucky. Here is an example of how not to use a roundabout. This is from Reddit. Hold on, let me drag it over here. All right, can you see that? There we go. Now I'm gonna play the video. Bam. No music, but look at this. It's like they've never been people. This one guy did it right. Look at these stupid fucking assholes. I don't. This is this like. I joked about it a little bit with Andy yesterday when we were streaming about when we were doing What About with Andy and Pat. The certain things that people have, like people have weird things with like aluminum foil, nails on a chalkboard, your cringy things. Watching this thing makes me like just furious. It makes me so irrationally angry, and it just kind of just makes me kind of sick. Like watching this thing, like not even understanding, like you've never even seen it before. And to be completely honest, in this part, there should be some signs. Like there should be. This is brand new, but like nobody know. The one guy, there's one guy in the whole, or one. I'm just saying, guy, one person, one car. Have you ever went? Ever went? Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Have you ever went round a few times in a roundabout to see if you can get people to follow you? I have. It's great. Oh, really? People follow you? No, I don't. I don't fuck around in a roundabout. I just want to get in there, get out. Especially around here, people don't fuck around. They do fuck around. Actually, let me say that they fuck around a little too much. But there's one, like, all you have to do in a roundabout: yield to your left. Whoever is to your left, just, and now if also don't go into oncoming traffic. You know how there's like a line in the middle of the road? It doesn't change in a roundabout. Like, well, but I want to go left, so I got to go into the left. No, that's oncoming traffic still. Why would that lane change here? Look, what, like, this is oncoming traffic here. So why wouldn't it be oncoming traffic up there? You know what I mean? there's no logic here. I think that's my biggest problem, is when there's a lack of just even the slightest bit of logic. I don't mind bending, like, again, to watch a movie like Stowaway, and to like really believe, like, realistically, it's not NASA. It's like a different, it's an, in the movie it's an independent company, so there's not even like they're saying, but it's, it's rocket scientists. There's nobody said like, hey, there's something rattling around in the life support system. It's not a complete lack of logic. They have other things going on. One of those guys had a boat. A couple of those guys had boats on on the cars. So yeah, they got stuff going on too. But wow, never in in busy traffic, of course. Not trying to cause disturbances. Well, I appreciate that, Ron. Big Preem's pounding off real hard. I always appreciate that, buddy. And I hope you're having a great Monday. By the way, Mondays they start out rough. I was talking about a jiu-jitsu tournament that I ended up commentating earlier, Ron, and and it was it was interesting because I was getting a lot of really good feedback, a lot of like positive feedback, and uncoerced. It was pretty cool. It wasn't like, hey, how did I do? And they were like, like people were, one of the owners messaged me on Facebook and said, like, oh, my wife said you did a really great job. Because he was actually there. Obviously, he was one of the people that was working the tournament, but his wife was watching the stream and said, and pointed out to him, and he felt compelled enough to tell me, which I always appreciate, obviously, um, saying how much she enjoyed the commentary, and also people were pounding off in the chat saying how much they enjoyed the commentary. It was a lot of fun. But I reached out to I reached out to a friend. I was just kind of like, oh, did you catch it? And also a member of the gym, like somebody that I train with and shit like that. I was like, hey, did you catch that? Like the only person I feel like I asked their opinion, and they're like, oh yeah, I got a notification and I opened it up, and as soon as I opened it up, it was you saying, hey, welcome to Lemoyne, and we're doing the white belt tournament, and I just shut it off, and I was like, damn, like. Like it was kind of one of those things of like, and it wasn't like a friends busting balls kind of thing. It was just kind of like and I have admittedly un unresolved, a little bit of resentment, I think, in the sense that like I've live in an area and I perform in an area for a long enough time, and not ever really seeing that person at shows on a any kind of regular basis, really, like a couple times in the years that I've been here doing comedy. So like stuff like that, where now when I actually specifically ask, like, hey, did you happen to support this thing that not only do you, it's people you train with at the place you train, but also a pal of yours is doing commentary. But what you're saying is, as soon as you turn it on and heard that it was all those things, you were like, oh, I got to get the fuck out of here. And that was like, that's how my Monday started. So I was like, damn, fuck. But luckily, I know he doesn't listen, so I can talk about it openly. But it was one of those things where like, so we've known each other for like as long as we have, but it never, we don't have like it's like, it's almost like having like, where you're like, oh, were you just acquaintances? Is that what it is? Is this like small talk and just like we don't do anything? Because I feel like it's kind of, that's what that literally sounds like when you say shit like that. When you're like, oh, no, I saw that thing that you did that is a part of the thing that I love at the place that I love training, and I was just like, no thanks, because that's what it was said. So it was like, oh, okay, then fuck me, I guess, right? Okay, it's interesting, but it's also kind of like talking about it's one of those things that like I can't help watching that video. Another thing, it just sticks in my head like that just it's not to the level of a thumb too, where it's like I don't even know, because I know a person and it wasn't, and I know the intent, it was not meant to say like you suck and I hate you, but it was like, but you can hear someone's intent still even through that. You know what I mean? Like someone that's like, oh, we're yeah, like you, if you were saying like, are you like good friends? You're like, yeah, I've known that person for this long, but like also like, but are we like, I don't know, I kind of have like almost the same relationship with like friends that like I've worked with. And it's like, but it's not like, it's not saying it to be a bad thing. That's the point that I'm trying to be clear with. Like, is like saying, like, even though that thing kind of stuck into my brain as a negative thing, I know truly it's not really, but I also know it's just like a clarification of like, oh yeah, like whatever, man. Like it's not a like you should have just I got greedy. I got to the point where like I was getting a lot of good feedback, but I happened to look to a point where I was like, "Hey, did you happen to do this thing?" And I don't even know why. I didn't. I don't even feel like I needed it. Like I got un. Anytime I get unprovoked feedback, like good or bad, it. I consider it a good thing because it elicits a reaction. It got people are interested in what I'm doing at least somewhat. Now, if it's like, oh, I think you should do this for your show, I should, like after a while, like you're trying to be a fucking associate producer. What the fuck? We got some pounding off though. We got a big preem. So far, so good. I'm off all day. Hell yeah, and playing Diablo. Leveled up and Andy's character on his stream last Monday. Hell yeah, that's funny. And also he says, slowly going to bully you into playing with us. I think Lemaire is into. Well, honestly, if I did the same thing with D&D with Lemaire and a couple other comics from the area. I don't, I'm not somebody that plays. I know this may be a shock to most people, but I am not somebody who plays D&D or is even that really familiar with it. Um, and not negative or otherwise, just I just don't really, it doesn't matter. I don't care, like, but when I was invited by Lemaire and some other of those comics to play their like the local D&D game, I was like, yeah, I'm into it. Like cuz it's kind of like a, I kind of looked at it as like an improv. Like, all right, well just think about this, but I realized as I was playing, like, oh, there actually are some rules to this. Like, you should kind of know. And I think I kind of annoyed the other guys. So with Diablo, I would be down for it, but I would probably have to try to get to know how to play the game because I don't want to. I want to hang out with those guys and play the game, and you as well. But I got to know that I'm actually not hindering anybody. You see. uh Join the Diablo, join the what is this, Diabros, and feel ultimate bros feel ultimate bro feels. I gotcha. We aren't friends or acquaintances, we are Diabros. I like that, Ron. We got peeps, pounders, Diabros, Di bries. uh but that kind of thing, like no matter what, it always like sticks. So it's the same feeling I get when I see something that has not, like, again, that has nothing to do, it's one of those things. It's like, what are you really looking for, you know it was a thing where I was like, oh shit, that could very easily have fucked my Monday up. But it was also like one of those things that how quickly I was able to process that and just be like, oh well, maybe that's just us, like that's, you're not, but I don't I don't know. It's one of those things that's still obviously processing, but the fucking roundabout thing. This is how I know my brain doesn't work correctly, because the roundabout thing has fucked with my brain longer than that. That it more so, like that kind of thing. I wanted to have some kind of uh school or something like that. It originally, it was something I was even thinking about possibly doing as like a web show or something like that. Web show, what the fuck is, what was 1990 fucking 9? Oh, yeah, I was trying to think of a late enough year, but I was like 2002. I wanted to have a web show, web series No, like doing like a YouTube show or something like that of me being a driving instructor for other comics or anything like that. Because specifically, excuse me, hold on 1 second. Let me just get my drink here. And I'm going to do one of these.
Who do you think you are? I am.
Every time. But I wanted to have a show basically where, especially with PA drivers, I'm giving them, I'll create a driving test. I would like to do a traditional driving test, like something like, because I would also, I would like to know what the PA driver's test looks like, first of all, because I don't know if there is one. Because just roundabouts alone, just from the talkback 13s or talkback 16s or whatever the fuck it was that I heard, there's some news station around the coal region that does like talkback something or others. We used to talk about it on Buddha Boy shows where people would call into the news station to complain about the new roundabout, to say like, I'm fed up with this roundabout, it's terrible, blah blah blah. All the multiple times on multiple different broadcasts, this was a main theme from different callers. But it was also, it was actually, that's what it was. It was them reacting to the news story. So if there was an update on a roundabout or another thing, then they would say, what are you doing talking about that goddamn roundabout again? Get rid of it. We like straight roads here. Not those fruity loopy ones. But Jesus Christ, Kentucky, you've outdone yourself. That is awful driving. Terrible driving. It's so simple, guys. Roundabouts kind of work the same way everywhere. And even people have argued with this. People that have people, not even PA people either. People, Florida people, where don't drive with those people. I'll tell you what. But they're like, all you have to do, yield to your left. Yield to the drivers on the left. Obviously, if there's a crosswalk or if there's other, whatever it is, watch out for other things, but just look out to your left. John says, yeah, but do you know the cost for installing roundabouts? It's roundabout $10,000. Okay. Well worth it to alleviate you stupid drivers. Pennsylvania drivers are the fucking worst, man. Yikes. I'm see what I'm saying? Like this reminds me of how terrible it is to deal with a roundabout in PA. Roundabouts $10,000. I just, I don't know if it's the shape, if it's the simplicity of it, if it's the fact that it's a European design. Wait, no, what? No, I got it. I didn't do the accent. I'm sorry. I apologize, John. That's probably me. John, because you're back in a comedy. You should be doing it. John, ditch your kid and come play video games with that'd be awesome. Hell yeah. Hold on 1 second. We got somebody joining. Let's find out if she's here. No? There she is. There she is.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, good.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Good.
I got my headphones in, so I didn't know if it was.
Oh, because of maybe possibly my language?
Maybe, possibly.
Oh, well. Yeah, we were just talking about the roundabouts. Big Preem says, howdy, wife George.
Hello.
But yeah, I played that video, the Kentucky roundabout. Remember, did I show you that?
You did it, but I watched it when you put it on the TV.
Terrifying, right?
Yeah, you're really funny with these roundabouts.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. I'm here, if anything, to not to death shame and to be a self-death advocate, as well as a advocate for roundabout education, because it's so fucking easy, guys, if you just yield to the left. That's all, right?
Well, I think that's the problem is there's no trust.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Like they don't I'm like, okay, I know what I need to do, but I don't know if that person knows what they need to do.
But in
So
Kentucky,
I'm gonna hesitate.
yeah, but in Kentucky, nobody knows what to do. No.
They're confusing.
I mean,
And John, are they really $10,000?
no, it was a joke. I thought the
Okay,
same
I don't
thing
know.
when he said that too, because he's like, "Oh, that joke fell flat." I was like, "Oh, was I supposed to say that in like an accent? Like, oh, that's like it's around about $10,000." Ha ha ha. He should have gone higher, because I'm thinking $10,000. I'm like, that's pretty affordable for a roundabout, I would think, right?
Well, I would think that would be a lot better because than a light, because that's essentially what it's replacing, right?
Yeah.
Is a street light.
Mhm.
So you have to, there's upkeep with that, whereas
Yeah.
a roundabout, there's really no upkeep other than like landscaping.
Maybe-
if it's a pretty roundabout.
Yeah, if it's a nice roundabout, and usually you only have to have one lane, so you don't have to even like repaint lines or anything like that. It's like, it is so fucking ideal. I guess that's my problem. Is it's my same issue with I was talking about, like, I know the only way I ever seem to ever get triggered is just with anger, and it's always with just like there is, not only is there a better way to do what you're doing right now, but it's right fucking there. Like, it's right
Yeah.
fucking there. That's where I get frustrated, because it's the same way when I'm driving and somebody's just walking in the middle of the street, and I'm like, there's a crosswalk right there, and there's a button that has a light that says to you when it's okay to walk, and that tells other drivers that you're there, and all of these other magical things that were spent and built and created just for you to do the thing you're doing, but just feet over that way. Just go over that way. If you just go to the crosswalk, what I'm saying is, not all laws are meant to keep you down, man. Like, there are some laws that are meant to be like, hey, idiot, walk at the crosswalk, because that's where people will pay attention and look for you. And then it's 100% when you get hit. It's not like there's no conflict. It's that person was on the crosswalk. You shouldn't have hit him. You know what I mean? But if you're driving on the road, you're like, what were they doing in the middle of the road? Why didn't you see him? What happened here? There's confusion. There's an investigation needed, and more man hours when there were already man hours wasted on a crosswalk. I'm very passionate about this.
You are.
Yeah.
You're a rule follower, and when people don't follow the simplest rules, it infuriates you.
Even the simplest, like when there's just no like when you're just being lazy. I think that's the problem with a lot of this. With, you're not even like, look at the design of a roundabout. It is so simple. Like I said, the way that they had those lanes split up, and those people were like, I know the logic. I understand. I'm still from Florida. I still grew up in Florida. I understand the stupid logic of being like, oh, I want to go left. So, we got a real quick question. Hold on. There's a question happening from work there.
Okay.
She took the wrong headphone out. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. So he's just trying to figure out what's in there.
It's got to be. Cricket's here. Hey, how's it going? Rule follower, aka fucking
Right.
dweeb ass.
Yeah, right. Because I figured it was like a motor or something like that.
He's trying to get it open now. I don't know.
That's Youngblood.
I hope you don't have to.
I hope you don't have to, but today's the day to do it. Like if it,
Yeah.
on Monday.
Wrong headphone.
Yep.
There we go.
Sorry.
That's all right. Friend of the show, Youngblood.
Yes. Oh, could you hear him?
Yeah. I was like, wait. I was like, I want to make sure. I was like, do I need to turn this down? I was like, oh, they're just talking. It's just Youngblood. Okay.
Our air curtain in the drive-through is broken, and we need that because the air pressure per square inch will stop the virus from coming into the window.
Cricket, well, Cricket's in the chat. By the way, Cricket, I got the cats and coffee pin right here. I sent a thank you note through Amazon. I don't know if it came through yet or not, but I got my.
I have mine on my hat, but I don't have my hat with me.
Oh, perfect. Yo, I'll tell Youngblood that he sucks ass. No, well, she officially can, but
not in this setting.
Yeah. Also, she's on break, so she can't. That's business. That's only for show.
Show business.
Yeah, show business. Yeah. So, but thanks. Cricket sent us awesome. My brother sent us awesome pins that say "cat and coffee," cats and coffee. So it's right there. It's a really cool thing. It's cool.
It's very
and
cool thing.
enamel handmade pins. You know. But yeah, the roundabout thing. I understand the logic that they were going with that thing, where they have the lane divider thing, right? And they have like they're like, oh, I want to go left, so I'm gonna go this way, right? Like I get that. But also, why would it turn it? It was just oncoming traffic. Why would it stop being oncoming traffic? You know what I mean? Like you're making it harder than it needs to be. It's so simple. If
It's
you just
also
drive up here, you can go.
European.
Yeah, and I think there's a hefty bit of what is it? Judgment.
This is America.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is America. I ain't gonna do some European.
I ain't gonna do no roundabout.
Some
That's not Europe.
This ain't the Champs-Élysées. This is goddamn rural Kentucky. Goddamn it! I'm gonna go left, and I'm gonna go in the left-hand lane. Damn it! I don't know why I went that way, but
I don't know either.
I just think that if anything, we need just a little bit of basic education. I think just a quick refresher everywhere, and I think I finally need to have my driving school opened up, much like Beldar Conehead. I'm gonna start my own driving school.
That's awesome. I
John,
think you should.
John, I think you have another Photoshop idea. Pat as Conehead.
Yep.
But I think there's a little bit of there's just a need. Like I that's all I'm here to do, right? I wanna like as far as content, I want to put out funny, entertaining, compelling content. I want to either find ghosts or talk about piss and farts. I want it to be something that I'm interested in. But if it's going to be as far as what holes can I fill besides yours, madam, it's going to be I can fill a hole here by saying I'm going to educate drivers and I'm going to do it in a fun way. Do you think it'll be fun?
I don't think so.
We're not going to do it. I don't think we're going to do
You're
it.
going to have fun.
On
I
the
think
road.
you will have fun.
You know what I mean? It's essentially me roasting people's driving.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's going to be. Pat roasts you driving and if you want to be a guest, I guess you have to provide the car. We don't have insurance and you better be good because if not.
Would you let me drive to do this?
Yeah. If you want to do that means
he doesn't let me drive, guys. I never get to drive. I mean, I drive myself, but never if it's the two of us.
I was just about to give an explanation, but I think I just came up with the name of the show. It's called I'm a very nervous driver or rider. I'm the nervous rider. That's me. Like you want to say if there is instead of ghost rider, I'm nervous rider. That's me going like on a bike. I don't like this. I think there's I wouldn't hesitate to use the wheel. I wouldn't hesitate to use the brakes. I wouldn't like any of that shit. Like I judge constantly when I'm in the passenger seat, and I do this for your benefit. That's why I don't let you drive, so that I'm not constantly criticizing you in every single way and shape and form.
That's true. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for doing that for me.
That's for you, sweetheart. Okay. Because you know what, I'm a pretty good. What do I always say? What's the thing I always say when you criticize or you clinch or you grab or you do anything like that? What do I always say?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. I go, what's wrong with you? What's going on? What's over there?
What's going on?
Or I go, drove professionally for 7 years. Drove
Yeah.
professionally for 7 years.
Yeah, but you were looking at me, or you were playing with the phone, and they suddenly braked. I need to make sure that you know.
Like you've never heard of peripheral vision ever. I mean, this is what we talk about. These are what?
Brandon.
Yo.
Look what he said. That's John.
Okay.
And then they told me to say it, but I said
Okay.
I'm not saying it. And then Manny said, Dom, I give you permission. And then John said, fire gun.
John, I don't like any of this.
Can you hear him?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can hear him. Yeah, yeah.
I'm very fired up. You just let them know I'm fired up. How about
Oh yeah,
that?
we can hear you. Oh yeah, we hear him.
Oh, they
Right.
hear you.
Young boy's fired up. He's pissed off enough because Manny came on last week and went up against Lemaire to try to win their goddamn belt back for their fucking podcast, and did not was not able to do it. So, yeah. John says hire him back. Okay, so he's back. He's
Got
back
it.
on the
Yeah.
payroll, guys.
Go Birds. And I don't know if his name tag also does not have his name on it. Another partner painted it, and it says "Go Birds" with an eagle. Doesn't say his name.
No.
Go Birds.
I didn't know that. I didn't know Youngblood was Filipino. Go Birds. Get it?
What?
It's from the sketch. It's from Yulmer's sketch. I was calling back.
Oh, yes. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
Youngblood stays fired up. Hell yeah, Casey. That's for fucking damn sure. I forgot we were talking about right before that, but yeah. Do you wanna do a word of the day real quick?
Yeah.
Right at the end
Do
here.
it.
We can try to squeeze this some bitch in right here. Try to do this. Oh, here it is. Okay. I was like, where the fuck did I put it? I know I had it all queued up. It's right here. Today's word of the day is brought to you by wordgenius.com because that's the one who sends me the emails. If it's today's word of the day is, I think this is pretty easy, but I don't know what the fuck it means. So it's part of speech is a noun. Or origin is American English 1980s.
What?
Yeah.
It's a new word.
So the word is ZELIG.
Z-E-L. Zelig?
I think it's Zelig or Zelig.
Zelig? Zelig?
Zelig? Because Zelig sounds
Never
familiar.
heard of it.
I don't know what that word means, but I've heard that word, Zelig. He's a Zelig? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's a... I can't even think of like the reference, but I know I've heard that. I know I've fucking heard that word before. Okay, so
Never heard of it.
I'm gonna say Zelig. You said what? Zelig or Zelig? Zelig.
I'd say probably Zelig.
ZELIG.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me see. Oh, you fucking idiot.
Zelig.
Yeah, I think it's Zelig. Zelig. I don't know why that was so
Okay.
fucking hard to. Come on now. Yeah, Zelig. All right, so
Okay.
a person who is able to change their appearance, behavior, or attitudes so as to be comfortable in any situation.
Adaptable? So it's another word for adaptable?
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean? That's so stupid.
Oh, it's the 80s.
Yeah, and for it to be such a young word, like I think we could get rid
Yeah.
of this. We could drop this word, guys. I don't even
Yeah,
like it. Examples of Zelig in a sentence: despite belonging to, hold on now, take it. This might be a trigger here. PR team. Does that mean Puerto Ricans?
No. Public relations.
Oh. I'm like, what the fuck would they say PR? Why? I was thinking of it in a West Side Story context of the Sharks and PRs. That's my bad.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay, so I apologize. The Puerto Rican team. Oh, public relations team. Why didn't they just put public relations? Right? Like, there's
because PR. That's a very common that's because people call it PR way more than they call it.
People
public
call
relations.
PRs a lot of time. Okay, well, either way, a person who is.
I call them freaking Ricans.
Oh yeah, exactly, because you are one. Despite belonging to the Puerto Rican team, Harold was a Zelig who easily blended into any department. Yeah, you're adaptable. You're
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This is a useless word from the 80s. This is a Coke word.
Yes.
Man, you're like a fucking Zelig, dude. Like, you're like a fucking Zelig, man. You're like fucking. You just go into any fucking room and you're like fucking there. You're like fucking like going. It's working too well with the headband.
Okay, I gotta go. I'm
okay.
so sorry.
God bless. I love you.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Goodbye. She is Dom is absolutely a zealot in every shape and form. Rather than joining the why are they using such hard words in this description of words? Rather than joining a clique in school, Kathy was a zealot. They always capitalize it also. That's really strange. They capitalize PR team as well. The T in team. I don't understand that. But despite rather than joining a clique in school, Kathy was a zealot who made friends in different interest groups. That's a stupid sentence. This is a stupid word. This is a fucking Monday word, dude. I don't like it. Zealot is a hold on a second. Damn it. Somebody was burning. Sorry, I just got a quick text. There we go. But yeah, that was a useless word. What a waste of our time, guys. I apologize for giving you a terrible. She loves you all, guys. We've been firing people. We've been hiring people. We've been talking. We've been pounding. We've been peeping. We've been roundabouting. I appreciate everybody joining the show today, pounding off in the chat. Dom for joining the show. God bless you. God damn it, I love talking to people on this show. This is a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys being here, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for another, hopefully a better word, hopefully some better vibes as far as driving. Hopefully by that time somebody will have educated, or I can just I got to figure out the camera thing. I think I'm just gonna do just a couple cameras in a fucking just like whatever fucking car, but I really do want to start trying to educate and again fill in those gaps. Gross. I don't know why I did kissy face right before that. But thanks again for joining the show. I'll see you guys on Wednesday, and I love you all. Goodbye.